In 1925, Victor Lustig convinced Parisian scrap metal dealers to pay him for the Eiffel Tower. When it worked, he immediately went back to Paris and sold it again to a different dealer. The Eiffel Tower was not for sale. Lustig had no authority to sell it, no connection to the French government, and no legitimate credential of any kind. He had fake stationery, a rented hotel suite, and an understanding of human psychology that was genuinely extraordinary. It was enough. Victor Lustig was born in Bohemia in 1890 and spent his early life developing a talent for deception that was, by any measure, remarkable. He spoke 5 languages fluently. He had the bearing of an aristocrat, the wardrobe of a diplomat, and a specific gift for making powerful men feel that he was conferring a privilege on them by allowing them into his confidence. By 1925, he was operating in Europe under multiple false identities and was wanted in several countries. While staying in Paris that spring, he read a newspaper article about the Eiffel Tower, completed in 1889, originally designed as a temporary structure, now showing its age and requiring expensive maintenance. City officials were reportedly debating its future. Lustig saw a business opportunity. He had a forger produce official-looking stationery for the Ministère des Postes et Télégraphes. He listed himself on it as Deputy Director General. He then sent private invitations to 6 Parisian scrap metal dealers, requesting their presence at a confidential government meeting at the Hôtel de Crillon, one of the most expensive hotels in Paris. At the meeting, Lustig informed the dealers, with appropriate gravity and regret, that the French government had concluded the Eiffel Tower had become too expensive to maintain. It was going to be sold for scrap. The matter was highly sensitive. Public knowledge would cause an outcry. And so the government was handling it through quiet private channels. He then took the dealers on a personal tour of the tower. During the tour, he watched them carefully. He identified his mark, André Poisson, a businessman from the provinces who was eager to establish himself in Parisian commercial circles and who, Lustig sensed, was slightly insecure and highly susceptible to the appearance of insider access. Lustig arranged a private follow-up meeting with Poisson. During it, he confided something. His government salary was modest, his responsibilities large, and certain parties who wished to expedite official decisions sometimes found it productive to express their appreciation directly. It was a hint at a bribe, and it was deliberate. A man who believes he is bribing a corrupt official believes the transaction is real. Poisson paid approximately 70,000 francs, equivalent to several $100,000 today, for the Eiffel Tower, plus a bribe to Lustig personally for expediting the paperwork. Lustig was in Austria within 24 hours. He waited. He checked the French newspapers obsessively for any report of the fraud. Nothing. No report appeared anywhere. Poisson, Lustig had correctly predicted, was too embarrassed to go to the police. He had been cheated out of a significant sum trying to buy a landmark he had no right to purchase, using a bribe he had voluntarily paid. He stayed quiet. Lustig returned to Paris. He contacted a new group of scrap metal dealers. He produced the same stationery. He booked the same hotel. He gave the same presentation. He sold the Eiffel Tower a second time. This time, his mark did go to the police. Lustig fled to the United States, where he continued his career with remarkable consistency, including a period during which he successfully swindled Al Capone out of $5,000 before deciding the risk wasn't worth it and returning the money. He was finally arrested in 1934 and convicted of counterfeiting. He died in Alcatraz in 1947. Victor Lustig was convicted of 47 counts of counterfeiting and numerous fraud charges across his career. In addition to selling the Eiffel Tower twice, he ran a device he called the Romanian money box, a machine he claimed could duplicate banknotes. which he sold to wealthy marks across the United States and Europe. He was considered one of the most successful con artists in history, not because of the scale of any individual crime, but because of his consistency and his understanding of what people wanted to believe. His marks weren't stupid. They were ambitious or greedy or desperate to be included in something that felt exclusive. Lustig gave them that feeling, and then took their money. He died in Alcatraz on March 11th, 1947, of pneumonia. His occupation was listed on his death certificate as apprentice salesman. He sold the Eiffel Tower twice. He swindled Al Capone and lived to return the money. He ran the same con in the same city with the same fake stationery, and it worked both times. The con artist who sold the Eiffel Tower. Twice. A man who understood human psychology well enough to sell something he didn't own to people who should have known better in one of the most famous cities in the world, and then came back a second time to do it again. The Eiffel Tower is still standing. Lustig spent his final years in Alcatraz. Only one of them got what they deserved. Subscribe if you want more. See you in the next one.